What job would you like to have 10 years from now?
I think I will be a full-time YouTuber. I think I will be creating online content on YouTube, online educational content on YouTube, on other social media platforms such as Instagram.
How useful will English be for your future?
English will be very useful for me because I will be living in an English-speaking country in the future, and it will be the main medium of communication for me on a day-to-day basis.
How much traveling do you hope to do in the future?
I hope to do a lot of traveling in the future. I hope to travel to some untouched, pristine places in the future. I'd like to go camping in the nature as well.
How do you think your life will change in the future?
My life will change dramatically in the future because I will have some children in the future and I will be a father, so I will have to adopt a new role for myself as a father. I think that would be a new area for me to discover. And I might have a job in a school in the future or maybe in a university in the future. I think it will have some changes in the future.
Part 2. Describe a book that you enjoyed reading because you had to think a lot. You should say what this book was, why you decided to read it, what reading this book made you think about, and explain why you enjoyed reading this book.
Okay, I'm ready to talk. I would like to talk about a book that I read about a couple of years ago, maybe more than 3 or 4 years ago. The name of the book is Who Moved My Cheese? It's a very small book. It's a very short book that made me think a lot. The story is about two or three mice that were trapped inside a maze. And they were fed on a regular basis in a specific area in that maze. There was a small piece of cheese in that maze for them every day to go and pick up and eat. But one of them was smarter than the other ones, and it started finding new routes in the maze and looking for new sources of food, believing that one day that source is going to finish and they have to start exploring new areas and new places and new turns and twists inside that maze. And so the first one was the symbol of a dynamic character, a dynamic person who is always trying to find new solutions in life. And the other two ones, I think two or one, I don't really remember. The other two ones were the symbol of the people who were not willing to change, who were not willing to tune into new situations and adapt themselves to new situations. And finally, one day, as a routine, they went to that specific spot and they realized that there is no food. But the first one, who had been looking for food for different turns inside the maze, had found a new source of food. And after a while, these two mice had to change too. They had to get over their fear of the unknown. They had to go inside the maze and find a new source of food. And a really nice theme in that book was, if we don't change, we will die. That's what I really liked about that. So I really like this book because I could identify with those two mice that were afraid to change, because sometimes in life you are confronted with situations that you have to make changes really rapidly and you have to adapt to them really quickly. So if you don't change, you will die.
Part 3. What are the most popular types of children's books in your country?
For children in my country, I think one really popular type of book, which is popular all around the world, is the comic books. They are really interesting and it makes children become imaginative, to imagine themselves in a world of the unknown, in a world of that story, which is most of the time really interesting. And another type of book that is popular is fairy tales. They are really popular with children in my country. And there are some other kinds of books that are interesting to children. There are some psychological books that are trying to teach them certain points in life. For example, if the parents have gotten a divorce, this is the way you have to approach it. If there is a problem at home, this is the way you have to approach it. The characters in those books are usually some cute animals that children could identify with. So it's a nice way of teaching them some values and some important life lessons.
What are the benefits of parents reading books to their children?
I think there are several benefits to that. When children see their parents read to them or reading, they learn that, and this habit is created and fostered inside them, and they start reading themselves, which is really good for them. Reading is a great activity for children. I think reading makes children imaginative, and that's a very important skill to have.
Should parents always let children choose the books they read?
I can't say no to that, and I can't say yes all the time. I think it's a great idea for parents to give their children some choice. You know, they have to choose some books that they think are suitable for them, like, for example, 5 or 6 options, and then they give the children the option to choose from those 5 or 6 books. I think this way they have controlled the books that their children are going to read, and they have given their children a say in what they are going to read.
How popular are electronic books in your country?
Electronic books are really popular, not just in my country, in my opinion, all around the world. Many students in my country, many university students in my country nowadays prefer to have a reader, an e-reader, for example, the Amazon Kindle, and get their PDF files on their Kindle and read them instead of having those books printed out, which is not very good for the environment. I believe they are very popular, and they will be even more popular in the future.
What are the advantages of parents reading electronic books compared to printed books?
I think when parents, like I said earlier, whatever parents do, children copy and imitate. If they see their parents reading paper books, so they like to read paper books. If they see their parents using a gadget, reading an electronic book, I think this desire is fostered and created in them to do the same thing. And I think it's a nice way of pushing them on the right path of saving the environment and saving the earth, of cutting fewer trees.
Will electronic books ever completely replace printed books in the future?
I think no. I think for as long as eyes can see or men can breathe, so long will live paper books. And this is from Shakespeare. And I believe that no, I think there is this desire inside human beings, this sense of nostalgia that reading a paper book gives people. I think they will be around for a long period of time. I don't think that electronic books will ever completely replace paper books. Thank you.